At the end of every day, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, did I get better today? Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better. If you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better will you be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the real question. And it all comes down to taking small steps. You don't have to accomplish everything in one day or even 1 week. Just focus on getting a little better every single day.
And welcome back to another episode of Real Estate AF, where the AF stands for And Finance. And I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are powered by LoanBot, Smarter Mortgage Matching. And first off, I want to take a moment to just thank the folks for continuing to subscribe, share our podcast. If you could throw that reference up. We are now at 67,200 subscribers. I don't know how, but it must be the transparency from all the guests and giving you guys the goods. So let's kill that. And on the last couple of discussions, we have been talking with brokers, with agents about all the problems they're having. So I had a good friend reach out to me and give me a concept for a discussion that I think needs to be had. In this discussion, we're going to be turning this pressures that you guys are feeling into production. And also, we're going to be turning the panic that everybody's feeling into pivot. So that being said, and without further ado, let me introduce my two guests for today. First, to my right, I've got Jason Smith. How are you, Jason?
I'm great, Mark. Thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely. And then to my left, I've got Miguel Herrera. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So I think this is going to be a great conversation to have with some gentlemen that get to experience not only what has happened thus far, because they're in it, they're in the business, you from working with realtors, and then you from actually producing, a real producer, so to speak, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. That being said, if you could, matter of fact, we'll start with you, Jason. Just give us a little tidbit of who you are, how you're connected to the industry for those that are recently joining us and have no idea who you are.
Yeah. So I publish Real Producers and also do small business coaching and consulting.
You can pull them.
Pull it over.
Yeah, you can pull
Is that better?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So I publish Real Producers and I also do small business coaching and consulting. I get the chance to work with the top 1,000 agents throughout San Antonio, telling their stories, putting on events, helping them with their preferred vendors list. And then just in general, we help small business owners, bring alignment to their life and to their business. Mm-hmm. That's really what we're designed to do. And, there's just a difference between a realtor and a real producer.
Amen to that. Yeah, absolutely. And matter of fact, on our discussion, if folks want to go back to watch the discussion, we easily distinguish the difference between a realtor and a real producer. So thank you for that. Next guest, Miguel Herrera. Tell us about yourself, brother. I know this is your first time on this podcast. Hopefully not the last, but please let us know who you are.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I'm Miguel Herrera, and I'm a top luxury agent, number 2 agent in the city, currently 2025 Business Journal. Been selling luxury real estate in Texas for the last 20 years, built a career, built a team, now building a brokerage. Mm-hmm. I opened my own brokerage a year and a half ago, the agency. It's the number 1 boutique luxury brokerage in the world. And we brought it to San Antonio. Proud to say that, we are growing our luxury in San Antonio, that we have room to get these big brokerages.
I love it. I love it. So quick question right out the gates. What made you, or what inspired you, induced you, what have you, to jump out and become the leader of this brokerage, the agency? I love it.
Oh, I love it because first of all, they contacted me.
Okay.
Them. So I love them. Mauricio Mansky, who is the leader in Beverly Hills, who actually got this brokerage out all over the world. It's the one who contacted me and said, okay, Miguel, you are a leader in San Antonio, and we would like to expand to your area. Are you open to talk to us? Of course, I did. Went through a process that I love it. I saw what they were doing. I was actually working in my own brand for the last 20 years. So I saw that it was aligned to what I was building, and I saw that San Antonio was ready.
Yeah,
I'm always be looking outside the box, and I'm one of the innovators of changing luxury in the industry. Disruptor for
yes,
sure.
Sir.
And I saw that as a big opportunity to get it to a bigger scale. because my goal is to build the next generation of luxury agents.
I love that.
And I'm doing it already.
Amen to that. Now, another question for you, which I think folks can appreciate this question. The idea of luxury, when you say luxury, it doesn't automatically make you think of San Antonio. Or I said say the other way around. San Antonio doesn't automatically make you think of luxury. Mind you, working my way up through the ranks in this industry, flipping houses, all of the things that my wife and I have done, we've found ourselves in several luxury homes in owning them. So we know that there's a market for it. But what distinguishes the fact that you are a luxury agent?
I call myself a luxury agent at every price point.
I love that. Okay.
Luxury, it's not just the price value.
Mhm.
It's what you put behind it.
Okay.
What is worth. A vacation home of $200,000, it's luxury for somebody.
Yeah.
You know, an investment is a luxury for somebody. The first-time buyer is a luxury. So it's how you define it and how you build it. Of course, we've been growing.
Yeah.
And I know we're the seventh largest city in the United States, but we're still a small city compared to all the big metropolis. So what's happening in other cities, it's going to happen here. So I come from LA. I grew up in LA. I came as a young teenager to the United States from Peru.
Okay.
I'm from Lima, Peru. And I saw the growth. And that's why when I moved here, I knew what was coming.
Absolutely.
I knew what was the future of San Antonio. So I said, okay, there's people coming from Mexico, people coming from the West Coast. I know what they like over there. We need to be ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say I'm one of the pioneers of the
Absolutely.
contemporary minimalistics properties.
Yes.
We didn't have that 20 years ago. I mean, everybody was worried about the transitional homes even. You know, now you see a lot of minimalistic, a lot of contemporary homes being built in all our upscales, you know, up neighborhoods, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I saw it was coming. So then I worked to be part of it. And I helped grow. So yes, we're ready for that. Luxury is making sure that we understand the growth of our city.
Understandable. And I like that. That's a well put together response to that. So essentially, luxury isn't just a name or a placard that you put on something. It's an experience that you're providing to that customer, whether they are a first-time home buyer or they're buying investment properties down south.
It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
Luxury is a mindset. Yeah. How you do anything is how you do everything.
I just said that this morning. Amen.
So, you know, when you understand that and you bring that level of customer service, that level of concierge approach to any transaction, just a spirit of excellence is really, you know, in serving your clients, no matter what their, you know, credit, you know, background or, you know, the level of house that they're buying. That is what separates the top agents from others. Yeah. Because you never know what that one transaction will lead to. This may not be the first home. This may be the first home they buy with you. May not be the last home they buy with you.
I actually want to change that. Chances are it's not going to be the last home.
Right. And so as they grow, you grow alongside them and you stay that consultant. And then you look in San Antonio in general. I mean, the United States in general. Yeah. Right. I mean, by 2030, 31, we're expecting $5 trillion. That's with a T. Yeah. $5 trillion to come into the United States during that time. So, you know, having Miguel, who has really specialized in not just West Coast buyers, but international buyers, executive buyers coming through, he has that level of experience that San Antonio is really set to thrive. And I'll tell you a great case study that proves this, even from last year. And you know this from the Dominion Luxury Home Tour. Okay. We had a group of builders come together and they built garden homes that were gorgeous, high-level homes. But these homes started out at $3.5, $4 million. That's a price tag you see in Dallas. That's a price tag you see in Houston. Sure. That's a price tag you see in other parts of the United States. But that was ambitious for San Antonio. Absolutely. The houses were great, but $3 million, $4 million plus for a garden home in San Antonio, even with that kind of location in the Dominion, that was ambitious, but we saw it and we proved it, and it turned out to be very successful.
Turned out to be true.
Yeah. So San Antonio is definitely on the rise.
Absolutely. Okay. So then let me kick this off with the first question of our topic for the day. Gentlemen, and I'll ask you, Miguel.
Okay.
Are we in a bad market right now? How would you define our market?
There's not such a thing as a bad market.
Okay.
It is where you make it be.
Okay.
You know, I set up myself to produce.
Yeah.
And how I produce can be changed.
Yes.
But I will always produce. And I will always work the market. So it's about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building the relationship with your clients. And it's how you present yourself. A bad market, it's a topic to a client.
Absolutely.
So contact your clients.
Yes.
Then you're talking about something, and then the opportunity comes up of, you know, you can get a deal here right now.
That's right. Because us on our side of the tracks, we are there to solve problems.
Right.
But if you don't know what the problems are, what are you there to do? You know?
And it's an opportunity.
Yes.
To open the door to your clients. Don't forget the luxury is based on relationships.
Yes.
It's 100% of relationships. There are so many different type of real estate out there. So luxury is not a lead generation.
Right.
It's more in relationships. Mm-hmm. It's a brand, an image, and a relationship.
I love that.
So you just have to find a way to connect.
Mm-hmm.
And if you connect to your clients, you're taking it to the next level and find ways. In 2008, 2009, everybody thought that it was the worst market ever. Well, I built my career back then. That's when I came from California. And I called all the people I knew in Mexico and I said, do you want to buy a deal?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I brought all these cash buyers buying 50% value of the properties back then.
Yes.
5-6 years later, we sold it and they all made 30 to 50% return.
Wow.
And they all became my clients and they all helped me. And that's how I started and built my career.
And clients for life.
On a bad market.
Yeah.
So people think that a bad market is not good. It's actually an opportunity.
Yes.
It's definitely the best time to approach.
Now, you mentioned something that I want you to dig a little deeper on because we've got a lot of realtors that watch this podcast. And what you said was luxury is a relationship business. It's not a lead generation business. And that stuck with me just now when you said it because you're on the money. And why I'm asking this is we all know the agents that get out there, have never sold a transaction in their life, but they've seen the selling sunset. They've seen the $1 million listings. They've seen Miguel Herrera on TV, et cetera. And they go, I want to be like that when I grow up. So I'm going to be a luxury agent, but they've got nobody to produce this with. So they think, okay, lead generation. How do I get $1 million leads? Can you expand on that topic?
Of course, I'd be glad to. Lead generation is a business.
Yeah.
It's not luxury, but it's a very good business.
Sure.
And there are a few brokerages out there and a lot of agents being very successful, getting 1,000 leads and getting 1 or 2, 3, 10 good buyers out of it. And then they make a business out of it. So I have nothing against lead generation, but it's not luxury. Luxury is based on relationship and how you put yourself out there.
That's right.
You need to present yourself as the brand.
That's right.
You are the brand. People need to see you successful. Mm-hmm. You know, ChatGPT, my name, and then you know what I'm talking about.
Amen. Yeah.
You just ask Miguel Herrera, Luxury Agent San Antonio, and you'll get everything about what I've done in my career.
Right.
And I will tell you exactly how I did it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. AI is actually our best friend.
Amen to that.
But you need to just go out there and start having the relationships, communicating, stepping aside. Not everybody has money. I get it.
Yeah.
We all started without money, but try to find a niche or find a mentor.
Yeah.
That's why I'm building the agency here in San Antonio, because I'm actually sharing my knowledge with the agents that join my brokerage.
Right.
I don't just take anybody. I actually take agents that are already 1, 2, 3 years in the business, X amount of millions in production. Why? Because I take you. I'm your master degree.
Yes.
I am not your teacher. I won't tell you how to write a contract.
Yeah.
I'm not tell you how to write a contract. I will actually take your career and help you take it to the next level.
I love it.
And how? Well, I'm not the only leader in the industry.
Mhm.
You know, I consider myself one of the best ones.
Amen. Hands down.
I mean, I'm the number 2 producer, but I'm the number 1 leader.
I love it. I love it.
But the reality is that there are other leaders out there. So, or top agents, and let's try to get close to them in your brokerages.
That's right.
You know, not everybody's as open as some of us are, but you will learn, you will see, you will go assist, knock doors.
Yes.
I did that. 20 years ago, I didn't know one soul in San Antonio when I came from LA. I didn't know anybody. So I knocked every single door and I said, I'm very good at what I do. I'm a good negotiator. I'm a closer. I just don't know San Antonio.
Right.
Give me leads and I'll give you half of your commission.
Sure.
I'll give you half. And I'm like, oh, my brokerage is first year in real estate, 40% off. I mean, I make more money on rentals right now.
Right.
Luxury rentals.
Absolutely.
That's how I did back then. But I learned the system.
Yes.
And I learned when it needed to be done.
And I think that had to do with your mindset going into it. For example, when I talked to, let's say, Maury that owns a couple restaurants around town.
A couple.
Yeah, right?
A couple.
Just
The idea of how he came to be was, well, I'm going to go wash dishes. I'm going to do this position. I'm going to do that position. And behind the scenes, I'm looking at how all of this works, where the money changes hands, how we bring them in the door, etc. Then it's time to step out there and be me, who I'm supposed to represent, to become the leader, the owner, etc., the creator. In your case scenario, because you came to San Antonio, didn't know anyone, I would imagine you came into it with that mindset. But what were some of was it a mentality of fake it till I make it? Or was it a concept of I am going to set out with this goal, with the end goal being luxury agent, top tier, best relationship builder? Were you know how they say start with the end in sight, right? You come into San Antonio, what was that mindset going into it? Does that make sense?
Sure. I'm going to make this work no matter what.
Okay.
I know what I'm good at.
Do you see what it says behind you? Whatever it takes.
I love it.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. So I'm going to hit the pavement.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I mean, you asked me for every corner, south side, west side, Converse, all the way down. I mean, at that time, there were $70,000 homes. Right now, at least in the 200.
That's right.
I was making way less money back then, but I hit the pavement. My first year, and I have the plaque, it says 1 million. And I said, Keller Williams gave me a plaque. I mean, they rounded it up because it was less than $1 million. And then that's the minimum plaque that there was back then.
But you look good. They were like, hey.
Yeah.
But I had 11 transactions that year. So that means that every single transaction of my first year was less than 100.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned the system.
Yeah.
And one thing, it was in my mind. I need to know and learn how to put an extra zero to the right of those contracts.
That's right.
And that's exactly what I did.
Wow.
I worked for it. And a few years ago, in the crazy year, I did 80 million.
Mm-hmm.
And I closed 45, 50 last year. And you want to do the math, my first year, I made less money than a rental.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, I lost money because you had to pay for gas, you got to eat, you got to get
all of the things. And your splits probably weren't the greatest either.
First year, you know how they hit you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So that's what I needed to learn, the system. You learn the system, then you look at the top producers, what they're doing, and then you see it.
That's right.
And something that I developed, and I call it in my brokerage, I started using what I called, and I name it, and it's the Pantene spending, the we factor.
Okay.
I developed a we factor. What's the we factor? I used to go to Mexico and do seminars. How to invest and move to the United States, 2009. I mean, they told me, go do open houses. I mean, the whole street is foreclosed. What do you want me to do open houses? It's a ghost town,
That's right.
So I went to Mexico and started telling people, come by.
Yeah.
Because I knew there were some coming. So I didn't have product to put on those slides.
That's right.
But I used the product on my brokerage. Why? Because
Who else?
who owns everything? The brokerage.
That's right.
All the listings. So I started saying, we closed this house. We just closed on this one.
The we factor.
The we factor.
I love it.
And all of a sudden, I started creating credibility.
Yeah.
And there's something I always tell all my agents and my brokers is your brand has to be a year ahead of your production.
Absolutely.
What people think you're selling today is what you're going to be selling next year.
That is, no truer words have been spoken. I'd like to try and find the illustration so that we can kind of shift this conversation for a bit over to our topic. And I can't find it, but essentially it was the graphic that we used that probably prompted you reaching out to me that showed 98% of realtors out there, not just Texas or San Antonio, in general, sold less than one property. And
84.
There you go.
84% of
Blows my mind.
people had zero.
Let's dive into that. Tell us your thoughts on this concept.
Yeah, 84% of real estate agents in 2025 had zero transactions. 96%, to make it local to San Antonio and the greater San Antonio area, 96% of the real estate transactions in 2025 in the San Antonio area were generated by the top 500 agents, even though there are over 13,000 realtors. And so, there's a pandemic, of people that are struggling.
Yeah.
And, what Miguel said, so eloquently just now, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Right. I mean, I was speaking this morning at a mastermind. I was talking to several agents in there, and I was also hearing from some of the top producers. It's one of those things where, are we in a bad market? We're in the market we tell ourselves we're in.
Yeah.
And if you have that mindset of interest rates are high, property taxes are high, no one's moving, everyone is sitting, then that is your market. Because that's the market you've created in your mind that you're living in. The person that looks at this market and says, there's still people that are going to be doing transactions. There's still people that are going to need to list. There's still people that are going to need to buy. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. That's the market that they live in.
That's right.
And so you can either have a scarcity mindset or you can have an abundant mindset.
I was literally just going to say, it's hard for me to understand what you're saying because I come from a mindset of abundance. Right. I hear it probably once a day from somebody that I'm talking to. Oh, the reason you said that's because you're an abundance mindset, as if it's a bad thing.
Right.
And for realtors out there, I feel as though whether they have that mindset or not, or maybe they haven't developed a mindset to weather this, we'll call it storm, in their perspective or their mindset. But question for you guys, do you believe, for both of you, that 2020 through 2022 set improper expectations for realtors getting into the industry?
It didn't set improper expectations, but it set an inaccurate experience.
Okay. 2020
through 2022, let's be honest, you weren't a real estate agent. You were an order taker.
Amen.
That's what you were. Just
it's okay to say that.
In straight truth, if you were in the business in 2020 through 2022 and you struggled and you didn't make money, honestly, you need to pivot. That's your pivot today. You need to pivot and go do something else because you can't make it in this industry. And so there were a lot of people that just believed that, well, as long as, I have my license, then I sit here and I wait for the phone to ring and I, run a little comp on my computer and I tell them your home is worth this much. Sign right here. I'll put it in MLS in the next 30 minutes, and then I'll get back to you within an hour with multiple offers over asking price, and you tell me which one you want, and then we'll sign the contract, and I'll be so happy to have my 6%.
That's right.
And that was not to say you didn't work your butt off. I mean, you were the exception during that time.
Grab that mic. Keep that mic rolling with you. You grab it. I just want them to hear you, man.
You were one of the few that went to the office during that time. But so I'm not saying that agents didn't work hard, don't understand, but you didn't have to be in your scripts. You didn't have to learn closing techniques. You didn't have to build a pipeline. you didn't have to do a lot of things that the top agents who had been around a while, like Miguel, like Jason Glass, like Robert Elder, Ben Kahn, so forth, learned to do. And so now you have these realtors that are sitting here thinking, I'm working hard. I'm working hard. Like, here, look at my Instagram. I posted 10 reels last week. And because that's what they think, right? Like,
and the way that I put it, because we've talked about this tidbit of topic for several discussions now, and the way that I put it is those agents, lenders that got into the business during that time frame never got the opportunity to even develop the basics. So they don't know when you say I'm working hard, and we're going, okay, what are you working on? Well, I put the TikTok, I put the this, I put the that. Okay, that may have gotten you business in a time where it got everybody business because you had realtor attached to your name. But in a true market, ups and downs, etc., it requires the boots on the ground, the knocking the doors, the hitting the pavement concept.
Right.
Yeah. Miguel, what are your thoughts?
My dog would have sold a house that year. Yeah, I'm telling you.
1099 him.
I said I did it by myself, 80 million plus, and you do the math of 3%, right?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that year is not coming back. We need to work.
Yeah.
And agents did not learn to work. That's why from 15,000, we're at 13,400 right now and keeps decreasing.
Yeah.
A lot of agents are quitting the industry because they don't know how to do it. They think the social media is the way to get leads.
Yeah.
Social media, it's just a flyer out of church 25 years ago that you give out so you can get 1 or 2 buyers, hopefully.
Maybe. Yeah.
One of the weekends.
Yes.
Not even that day.
That's right.
That's social media. It's just for branding. It's for image. And a lot of people don't do it right. You have to see careful who is the real or who is not the real.
That's right.
But it's not that hard for buyers or sellers to find out. Because
I have to agree with that. Yeah.
After they go to step 2, they realize that no, this one just got the license 6 months ago, and it's just trying to grab me.
That's right.
Out of an open house. It's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to go out there, get with the people, start, knocking doors, as you said, Jason, start going up there and communicate, present yourself, learn the system, and make sure they know you're knowledgeable. That's the key.
As a matter of fact, I think that is the most valuable thing as we continue to progress within our technology, our ability and access, especially the consumer side of things. They've got access to damn near everything we do. And some of them can use it better than the ones trying to use it on our side of the tracks. So it's pretty difficult when you're telling a customer, this is what it is, and they pull their phone out and prove you wrong right then and there. It turns into a real quick goose egg as far as them being a customer or developing that relationship for the long term. That being said, as we go down this topic of solutions for these realtors, lenders that are out there, would you say that it is a epidemic problem or it's an individual case by case realtor centric problem?
It is individual. I think it's all up to us. You wanna grow, you need to just raise your sleeves and hit the pavement, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
You need to go out there and start learning, communicating. There's a lot of agents that really want to learn. I love what I'm building at the agency, San Antonio. I have a group of collaborating agents. They're all independent agents.
Yeah.
They all have their own business, but we all get together. We all help each other. I see agents doing reels one with the other. They start going. They teach each other. The one that have 100,000 followers are teaching how to do the reels or the content, what to say, what not to say. You just need to get together with people who are willing to do what you're doing and have the same mindset.
Yeah.
And go forward and don't be afraid to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone has the opportunity to get it done. And at one point, we all started. I did not know a soul 20 years ago. And I want to put myself an example. There are other top producers who are doing amazing that build their careers as well. That's why I did it. You know, 84% zero transactions. Come on, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, we really work hard. You know, I made number 2 agent Business Journal in 2025, where 84%
sold zero. That's right.
So I really work really hard. And I work 6-7 days a week. Some people call me workaholic. Doesn't hurt you to get out of the dinner table and say, honey, I'll be right back. I need to go to the restroom, and make a quick phone call at the restaurant and said, I'll take care of it in the morning. Boom. You go back to the table. Nothing happened. That's working.
That's right. You're on the money.
And you make that dinner tax deductible, by the way.
That's right.
That's right. I like it. Matter of fact, I posted something this morning, literally, I would say exactly what you just said. I wonder if I can plop this in here. I'm going to throw it up on the screen so everybody can see this. Let's see how quickly I can make it happen. Waste too much time. Come on now. There it is. And there it is. No, it was the previous. Do anything. This was the one that you said that I said this morning. How you do one thing is how you do all things. Let's see if I can find the one from yesterday. It was yesterday. Bear with me, guys. Info. Bang. This is the one will resonate. Come on. There we go. How to beat 99% of people. Be easy to work with. Respond fast. Keep your word. Be likable. So the idea is so simple, but the practice seems to be very difficult.
And that's basic.
This is basic.
It's basic.
You read that and you go, that's it?
Yeah. That's your CPS bill. So you have electricity at home.
That's right.
And you're right. But thanks to the agents who don't follow that, there's others that have a good business.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that should be on a t-shirt.
For sure.
Thank you, 84%.
Yeah, thank you to the 84%.
You make me look good. That's pretty good.
That's right. You know, and they, you know, it's all about getting trained, go through the relationship, go get a leader, get a coach, get a good trainer. I mean, learn from top producers and then you'll know what to do. You know, what I'm doing at the agency, I'm grabbing a group of agents that I know they can do it on their own. But with me, I can accelerate their careers.
Absolutely. Yes. And let me help you avoid the landmines that I've stepped on in this career, because you're already on the path and doing the things. You're doing the things that get you to become successful. But there's still some things you probably haven't experienced just yet that I want to guard you from or warn you about so that you can be prepared.
The rookie mistake.
Amen. That's right.
Exactly. So that's what it is. So they're learning, they're doing it right. I mean, we went through the hard parts, right? Come on, guys, we're going to make it better for you because we need to build the next generation of luxury agents. San Antonio is growing. And I know one kid here, one there get that one hit wonder, but they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
And then they try to get, buyers or sellers the wrong way. And then they read them and they end up calling one of us.
That's right.
We need more. We keep growing. Luxury is at our best right now. Jason just mentioned, the tour, 3.5 million garden homes. I mean, they were beautiful, gorgeous, but I mean, we're selling house at the 5-6 million already. Wow. Tourists in the Dominion have a listing coming at 6.5 million.
Wow.
And that's really the reality. I mean, I sold a lot on 800,000. One lot in the Dominion and 800,000. And that keeps coming. So we're growing as a city. San Antonio and Austin are getting closer.
Absolutely. I mean, I live in the canyons and they are not stopping the building. It's like another one's going up. There's another one. And happy for me, they're more expensive than my home. I'm like, okay, turn that 2 into a 3 one day.
Right.
No problem.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah,
I mean, the canyons.
The taxes.
I was there at the Pareto Homes, 15 years ago or something. I mean, they were barely doing it right now.
Right.
It's so easy I just closed a 1.8 in there and it's one of several. And I have a 2.5 coming up on the market in your neighborhood. And it's a gorgeous house. And those things are what we have today.
That's right.
So we need to be ready for that. And I don't believe our agents are ready. That's why I'm building what I'm building. More of a leader now.
Yes.
That I'm going to the leadership. I need to help others grow. I think I made it. Everybody knows who I am. I've done it. I hit every box that I wanted to hit in my career. My business plan said open the brokerage, and I wrote it 20 years ago.
That's awesome.
Open a brokerage and help other growth, create a collaborating group. Many people told me that was impossible. We're doing it.
That's awesome.
And that's what everybody should be doing.
But even still, that you have done that, you've checked off all the boxes. You're not hanging it up. You're in your mindset, guarantee you feel like I'm just getting started, especially since you've now got being reinvigorated with the new agency and you've got other individuals that are ready to soak up what you have to give. And I think a lot of people take the idea of having a relationship with a top producer, with a shaker and a mover for granted, because they feel as though that person is keeping their secrets to themselves. And what I found within my progression of my career, most of us are willing to share.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be considerate of my time, but I'm willing to share. Don't come sit, talk with me, and then go do something else that then I look like I wasted my time. So I'm not going to do it again the next time with you type concept.
Correct.
So question for, yeah, go for it. Turn your mic on.
Sorry.
There you go.
The first time that I ran into Miguel was actually at an open house of mine.
Really?
It was my first $1 million listing.
Okay. Where was it?
Santero.
Okay.
He came in. I don't know if you remember this. Well, probably not. I mean, he's been through.
He's like, who's this guy with the San Antonio Spurs?
I would love to see where you're coming with this.
Yeah. So he comes in. I have it listed at maybe 1.4 million. And, I didn't know who he was, but he comes in and he's like, let me put you on game real quick. Let me tell you, you have it overpriced. I'm telling you right now, it should be in the 1.1 range. At that point in time in my career, I didn't want to have those hard conversations.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This was my first $1 million listing too.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, you can tell like it's a testament of him really hitting the pavement, because I've even ran into him in my, small listings.
Absolutely.
Or the small times that I've been having the $1 million listings.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, the proof is in the pudding.
Well, I want to piggyback off of that. Just to say that I guarantee you, he didn't come at you with that comment, with that constructive criticism to shit on your parade. He was telling you, because if you want to get this home sold, it needs to be dropped in price.
Oh no. Yeah, he was definitely freaking out.
Yeah.
And it was 100% true.
Yeah.
I ended up losing that listing eventually because we never dropped the price.
What'd they sell it for?
$850. And you know what? That was a couple of years later.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, good to know. Good to know. So I've got two questions, and they're both totally different. So I need to make sure to remember them both. And this happens with ADD 88, From 2008, you were in the industry. I was not. I got in 2012. And I want to know, has there been any remnants within your business and surrounding that you feel is similar to 2008? Me, from the financial side of things, I have a completely different perspective on this, but go ahead.
No, actually, there's a big difference.
Okay.
What's going on right
Absolutely.
now? It's a different year. It's been the market right now. It's weird.
Yeah. And you get why I ask, right? A lot of people, 2008. No, it's not.
No. 2008 and 2009, nobody had money.
That's right.
People have money now. They just not reaching their pockets, and they're taking the time. So that's what Jason said, the experience one. The experience is what kicks in.
Yes.
You need to work them and make sure they learn from you that this is the right time for them to buy or to sell. Depends on the case. So actually, it is a good market for those to see it. Instead of seeing the empty glass, see the half glass to be filled.
That's right.
You need to go out there and make it work. The market, people have money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying. I mean, I'm telling you, I had a listing in the Dominion at 2.5.
Okay.
And I just talked to a client and I said, we should be at 1.9. That's our real price based on what the market is talking to us. 42 showings in 1 year, and we couldn't sell it. But he was very stubborn about
Dropping the price.
And I said, I would have sold this house 3 times in a normal market.
Mm-hmm.
And 70% of the people, I did the research, I called every single one of them, haven't purchased yet. 70% in 1 year haven't purchased yet. This is on the luxury level. And I said, the only reason is because they know that on this market, they need to get a better investment. So being at the right price, it's not the price.
Right.
So you need to work it. So that's a perfect example that
absolutely it is.
In 2008, nobody had money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my Mexicans came here, and I was actually touring Mexico doing seminars. I would go there every 15 days to do seminars. And I would do the whole show. I would bring, immigration attorneys. I would bring corporate attorneys, CPAs.
Mm-hmm.
I will, a bank that would give international loans. I would do the whole show. I even charge business owners $250 to come see us and talk to us. But back then, they were investing.
Yes.
Because nobody locally had money.
You're on the money.
Right now, everybody has money. The Mexican keeps coming because now they already know what happened.
That's right.
Back then, even
history repeats.
Exactly. And the West Coast is coming too. That just the agency is perfect for me. 15 offices just in LA, 7 in Mexico.
Wow.
So, you know who is grabbing most of those buyers.
Yes.
And that's actually what we're doing. And it's working. We're selling. If you really work hard today, and Jason said that again, if you really work hard and do it right, you're gonna make money. You're gonna be selling.
And you incorporated a practice early on by going to Mexico, and it illustrates a concept that I have. If you're gonna fish where the fish are. And essentially what I mean by that, for me, my business, lending, I'm not out there marketing to people that are non-first time home buyers. I'm not marketing to people that are, I don't even want to say educated. It's more so the concept of from 2020 to 2022, everybody that could buy, guaranteed they did what they needed to do to buy. So what does that mean? That means in today's market, if you want to be busy, you've got to stick your line in the water where the people are wanting to buy. Well, who's wanting to buy? All the people that missed the boat in 2020 and 2022 for one reason or another. Maybe it's credit issues. Maybe they didn't have the funds together, what have you. So I'm telling the folks out there, realtors listening, loan officers listening, fish where the fish are, not where they were, because it's empty over there. And Miguel articulates the concept by, instead of back in 2008, instead of digging deeper and door knocking and more open houses, he went to Mexico. Said, I'm going to bring you here. Why? Because that's where the fish that are buying are at, if that makes sense.
Totally. And locally, everybody thought I was nuts.
Absolutely. Like, what are you talking about?
Totally outside the box. Everybody, my old brokers, they told me, no, don't do it. And then he was putting me as an example a year and a half later. You need to find the niche and find the way how to get to your buyers.
Yeah.
And work hard to make it happen. Back then, I was told so many things. With that heavy accent, you're never going to make it in this, in Texas, coming from California.
Hey, it works pretty well on Dos Equis commercials.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Right?
Exactly. And I said, you know what? My accent became an asset.
Yes, sir.
See me walking into Louis Vuitton at the Cantera Mall.
Yeah.
As soon as I start talking, 20 girls come here. As soon as I said I'm local, they all leave.
That's awesome. And it's true.
It is true. So that became an asset. I'm part of, I'm guilty as charged. Half of the Mexicans in town, I brought them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think it brings out another point as well. You not only have to fish where the fish are, you have to fish where your fish are.
That's perfect. Yes.
You have to find your niche. If you're trying to be all things to all people, you're nothing to no one. And so Miguel found where his commonality was, where his common ground is. literally spoke the language they understood, but also, metaphorically spoke the language that they understood, made it make sense for them. And whether it's houses or cars or widgets or whatever it is you're selling, when value exceeds price, customers buy.
Yes.
That's just a timeless principle of sales across the board. And so the more that you can find the people that you're tailor-made to serve, you're going to find their pain points.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to create their problems. You understand where their tensions are. And because of that, you're better suited to resolve the tension that they're feeling. And the more you do that, the more the sale becomes yours.
And the deeper the relationship and more referrals come. And that's the guy that helped me with my problem, et cetera,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's good. I like what you just said, Jacob.
Same here.
Because you get into a niche where, as we start from the beginning, where the relationship starts developing.
Yes.
Why? Because, for example, I sell properties to Mexican households that make me sign an NDA.
Mm.
They don't want anybody to know who they are because some of them are, movie stars, Grammy winners, or, famous known business owners, but they own property here.
Absolutely.
I have a lot of clients have second homes in San Antonio, and I'm not allowed to say who they are.
Hey, my landlord, I had to sign an NDA right now.
Exactly.
Pretty famous dude.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. But they talk to each other.
That's right.
Over there in Mexico, they all knew each other. So they all started talking to each other. Who is the one that you trust that I can use in San Antonio? Because I don't want anybody to know I'm buying a property there. For security purposes, Mexico, I'm going to say we're better secure.
That makes sense.
So that really, really, really helped me a lot because I got inside a niche, a group of clients that they were talking to each other, referring me, and at least I know I was getting a lot of calls.
Yes.
And I started growing and growing my relationship based on that. And now they tell their friends, they tell their families. And in 2008, 2009, Mexico was going through difficult years as well. So a lot of people were leaving Mexico. Today is because they want to
Right.
invest. Back then, it was a little rough.
They see opportunity now.
They
Yeah.
already know because a lot of their friends are making money. They're expanding their businesses. I had something, and that's what I would always say, find your niche. A lot of realtors have real estate as the second business.
Good
That
point.
they did something else before.
Part-time concept. Yeah.
And I'm a businessman because I am, before being an agent, I'm a businessman.
Mhm.
Why? Because we're all independent contractors.
That's right.
We need to treat our business as a business.
Yeah.
A lot of agents treat it as a part-time job. As let me sell when I can. No,
To make
it is
some
a
extra
business.
money. You're exactly right.
You have to run it as a business. And I started since day one running it as a business. And that's why I own several businesses currently, including my real estate business, which is the brokerage. I was a team before who was also a business. Now I have a team and a brokerage.
Yeah.
No, actually, my team is the whole brokerage now. So I dissolved my team and I opened myself to everyone in the brokerage. And what they love about me is that I'm down the hall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually the
Accessible.
plus.
Most definitely.
Accessible.
Yes.
Accessible. And the knowledge kicks in. Not like, I know I look like 25, but, I'm not that. Yeah.
I love it. Like fine wine, baby.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of knowledge here. And agents need to know that and they need to learn that. And so that's what I'm saying. Go after their leaders.
Absolutely.
But, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, more than knowledge comes wisdom. And I think that's what is experienced when you actually do the work. You not just go through the motions, you're in the grind. You are grinding each day to come to the next client, to meet their needs, to build that relationship, making the effort to do so. So this last segment, 10, 15 minutes or so, I want to talk about your niche. But before I do, I got a question. Hopefully it's a little funny, but all these Mexicans down there, did they know you were Peruvian?
I'm going to tell you one thing. I started saying I'm Peruvian not too many years ago. Because I always, there's something
I don't blame
always
you for that, brother.
if you're going to buy from me, I'm from wherever you want me to.
Got it. That's right. What do you call me? Just whatever
No.
you'd like.
I told you I became an adult. I came as a teenager to LA. And I always say that Los Angeles is the second largest city of Mexico.
Okay.
Because there are more Mexicans in LA than every major city in Mexico. I mean, she said Southern California.
Sure.
Than the only one, it's Mexico City, which is the only one that has more Mexicans. So it's the second most populated city.
Yes, puro fresas over there.
Puro fresas. and honestly, I have a Mexican accent. I go to Peru and they tell me, what part of Mexico are you from? And I'm like, no, I'm from here. You're right.
The reason I ask, I have a business partner who lives in Utah. His wife is Peruvian. Still speaks very little English. And I know that Peruvian, you call her Mexican. She's like, I'm not a Mexican. So I have hope that would break the ice.
I love that. Yeah, no, I love Mexico.
Yes.
Mexico very much. We got to travel all over Mexico and it's my second home as well.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I used to have my previous business where I had a tourism company.
Yeah.
I had a wholesaler, a tourism, for everything shift after 9/11, of course. But in that business, I used to travel a lot all over Mexico.
Makes
I have
sense.
a chain of travel agencies and all that. So that was I've always been related to Mexico.
There you go.
That was in LA back then.
Okay, so now shifting, this last piece of this conversation is the idea of your niche. We have kind of glossed over the concept of the luxury, who the luxury market is, who the luxury buyers are. But I would like to know, and I'm sure the folks out there that specifically have never even dabbled in luxury, right? Me personally, I maybe do $5 million loans per year. So I don't call myself a luxury loan officer or anything like that. I'm the I'll fix it guy. Somebody botched your loan, bring it over here. Let's put it together the right way. So I'm sure there's tons of agents out there listening that are going, well, that sounds like a great thing, luxury agent. I'd want to be that one day. What should someone expect in regards to the type of clients that deems luxury, the experience and difference between your, let's say, non-luxury buyer? And I know that from your perspective and your mentality, everybody's a luxury buyer because it's about the experience. But let's take that cap off for a moment and put on the cap of what are the real differences between these types of buyers, sellers that are out there other than the price point? Because we know at a certain price point, you can call it luxury all day long. Realistically, if it's a $2 million piece of poop, that's not luxury, but the price point makes it luxury, if that makes sense. So go ahead.
Yeah, yes, you're right. There is a totally different. It's totally different to handle a 200,000 and a 2 million.
Yes.
That 200,000, you can just get a buyer and tell them, hey, just I've been seeing the house. I'm in the West Coast. Okay, just write an offer with a 30-day option period. And then when you come, you see it. It doesn't happen on the luxury level.
Right.
They have to feel it. They have to taste it. They have to walk it. They have to actually talk to somebody. Luxury, it's face-to-face. Luxury is relationship. Luxury, it's also when you need to read your buyers or your sellers very well. For example, you need to know, when I walk into a listing appointment and I see it's a doctor and I get he's analytical. Let me just get all the paperwork ready and I have my file already with all the details so that when I meet him, I see that he is a visual.
That's right.
And I just put the file out
Right.
and handle the whole listing appointment differently because I know how he looks. So you need to learn how to read your buyer or your seller. You need to communicate with them because then the egos comes in. Then, they became somebody because
they did something. That's right.
Worked
A value.
and did something right.
Yes.
To get where they are. So sometimes you have transactions where you have to be very careful because it's not about the money. It's about winning or doing it right. I have clients that said, I don't want that guy. I don't care if he wants to give me $5 million. He's not coming to my house again. Find me another buyer.
Wow.
And then I have to deal with that. You need to know how to handle those situations. So luxury, it's about handling the buyer or the seller. It's about dealing with the ego. It's about them respecting you because if they see you that you are an employee, then you're out.
Order taker, paper pusher.
You need to be an equal. So I didn't get to where I am for not knowing. And then that's, and I've said that since the beginning.
Sure.
One of my best friends, was a client of mine.
Okay.
And he got $1 million deal of a house in the Dominion. Back then, of course, now it's way more. He said, I want to see you at 1. And I said, no, I have an appointment in Stone Oak at 1. I said, Stone Oak, what's the house value? It's $250. He said, but mine is $1 million. I want to see you at 1. And I said, no, I already have a commitment. If you don't come at 1, I won't give you my listing. Do you want me to shift you for a $5 million?
Yeah.
Because, what if I get a $5 million, then you want me to cut you off for a $5 million? I have an appointment. I can see you at 3.
Yes.
He got really upset, hung up on me, but then he called me.
That's right.
And he said, okay, I respect you now.
And I think, and I want to pause there for a moment because you said something that I speak about quite often on this show, but you articulated it so well with the example of putting it into perspective for that actual seller, so to speak. And the idea of, and this can be anything from lenders giving accurate information to sellers, buyers, realtors, or realtors giving accurate and truthful information based on data. And what I mean by that is a lot of agents, lenders are scared to be honest and believe in their value. So they skirt around it or they sell around it instead of sticking to what their value is supposed to be worth, if that makes sense.
Totally. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
That's number one. You have to believe in yourself. You have to go out there.
Yeah.
And you have to show, lenders, I always talk to them and said, this guy owns, 10 gas stations, 10, convenience stores. That's a 20K once. You need to go out there and tell them, I know how to handle this.
That's right.
I know how to handle 20K once. The same thing is with us. We need to know and show them what we're capable of and not be afraid to tell them, no, you know what? You hire me to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Amen. I'm
here to sell your home. And in order to do that, I have to tell you what you don't want to hear. You're going to get upset. You're not going to like it. But, you're not at 2.2 to 2.4. You're at 1.8.
Right.
So if you don't want to listen, then, it's your problem. Then they put the house off the market and then, figure it out when the market shifts.
Because at the end of the day, if they don't listen and follow your valuable and direct advice to get this property sold, they'll go with someone else and they'll kick the can down the road and wonder why it didn't sell. And then finally come to terms with, oh, wow, that guy that was very direct with me and told me what I didn't want to hear, he was right. Dang.
I think
kind of going back to the example like you were talking about, I had this listing and it didn't sell, but Miguel walked in, told me you should have it listed at this price. Well, a lot of agents do the same thing. They give the buyer, the seller, what they want to hear instead of what they deserve to be told. If that makes sense.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I found that a lot of top agents walk away from more listings than they take. And, creating that business owner to business owner almost mentality, especially at the luxury level, is key.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend all your time marketing and investing in a property that's improperly priced due to an emotional standpoint from the homeowner. But again, it goes back, do you have an abundance mindset? Do you have a scarcity mindset when it comes to listings and leads? Your luxury agents understand, I can't waste my time with this person. So I'm going to invest my time over here with these 5 other buyers who are accurately priced. The home has been properly renovated and ready to go because that's where the money is. But an agent that's desperate says, well, I need this lead. So they take it and they follow the advice of the homeowner instead of being the leader in the transaction.
Yeah.
And so, not only knowing your worth, but also understanding you're the expert.
Yeah. And I've got a question for you, Jason, before we get into our last segment, which is rapid fire. Okay. Jason, for you, you deal with quite a bit of luxury agents. How, in your experience thus far, number one, does Miguel differ from the many? And how do the many differ from each other?
Yeah, Miguel stands out just in terms of his work ethic,
Okay.
for sure, and
his great look, you know,
yeah,
smile.
Oh my God.
Mira esta cara.
No,
Pleasure,
thank you,
y'all.
buddy. I love it.
Go for it.
No, I mean, Miguel, he's always been one of the hardest workers that I've had the privilege of being around, which I think generates our relationship because, I may not be the smartest, I may not be the most talented, but you're not going to outwork me.
Yeah.
And then too, just in terms of his honesty, I believe that he generally tries or wants to do the right thing, even if it's not the right thing for him.
Right.
Right. But if it's the right thing for the agent, or if it's the right thing for the buyer, or if it's the right thing in the situation. And that's what I would say is across the board with your luxury agents is one, they are themselves.
Okay.
Jason Glass is a lot different than Robert Elder. And Ben Kahn is a lot different than you, but both of you are highly successful at what you do, right?
Right.
And so, that would be one, the advice I would give you is be the best version of yourself, not a mediocre version of someone else. And learn from their strengths, right? But don't necessarily be a plagiarizer. You can't just be a carbon copy. I've learned a lot from Miguel just in terms of business and real estate and so forth. And I can integrate that into my personality and into my gifting. And therefore I'm raising my business acumen and my leadership lid. So there's something to be said for modeling what you see other successful people do while still maintaining your own authentic integrity.
Absolutely.
And I think what other top luxury agents do that others don't is they control their controllables.
Okay. Would you mind elaborating a little bit?
Sure. They understand they have the same interest rates as everyone else. They have the same property taxes as everyone else. But they understand that I can, based on my work ethic and my activity and my mindset, I can go out and create my own income.
Yeah.
And they wake up every day with an unemployed mindset. When you're running your own business, you wake up every day, you're unemployed.
That's right.
And it's like the old African proverb says, whether you're the gazelle or you're the lion, when the sun comes up, you better be running. And
I heard that the first time. Matter of fact, I'm so glad you said that. John Garbo, shout out there, old man. I hope you're enjoying retirement. John Garbo, my first 6 months in the business, I was, I guess, a trailblazer, whatever to say the least, was closing deals as a loan officer and doing $1 million a month transactions. And I'm going, okay, everybody's going, wait, how's he doing that? What's he doing? And one day, John Garbo walks in my office and he slams a brass number 2. I still have it on my desk. And he said, young man, you're going to be doing some great things in life, but I want you to remember. And then he sat down, told me about the lion and the gazelle. Mm-hmm. And he gave me the brass number 2. And he said, I don't care what you do. Don't ever forget that there's always someone better. So keep chasing. And it stuck with me. And he's right. Goes hand in hand with what you're saying here.
Yeah. Just
wake up running.
Wake up, be there to serve, not be served. I think your top producers, they're there for the relationship, not the sale.
Yeah.
And then I think 3, they play the long game.
Yeah.
They're not just in it for right now, but they're looking at the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and they have that game plan on where they're wanting to go. And more than ever in this market, I think and honestly, if I could just say this, they believe in coaching.
Yes.
They believe in personal development.
Getting better. That's right. Being a student to their own game.
Yeah. MJ had Phil, Tiger,
Amen.
Tiger had a swing coach. Your best people invest in coaching. And if you're struggling in this market, if you're a new agent that came in during 2020, 2021, 2022, and it's not going the way that you hoped, and now it's 2026, I'll just tell you, if you were going to figure it out on your own by now, you would have. Mm-hmm. If it was going to magically get better on its own by now, it would have. And so if you don't change what you're doing, if you don't change how you're thinking, if you don't change you, which is truly your own controllable, then you're going to be out of the business in 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's where associating at a brokerage like the agency, where it's based on experience, not theory, matters so much. That's where having, a coach that can come alongside you and tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, but then also just push you beyond your capacity. That's why that matters so much.
That's right. And what you just mentioned kind of reminds me of that teach a man to fish philosophy concept, but in a different light. The sale will feed you tonight, maybe this month, but the relationship will feed you for the lifetime.
Totally.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it is.
Good way to put that.
Yeah, totally. You have relationship for life. And that's what a lot of people don't read. Don't be a car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a car salesman. That when you buy a car, 9 out of 10 feel like they got me on this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do better on the next one. No, here is, don't forget that they will remember an extraordinary. It's not just a memory.
Mm-hmm.
They need to remember how they felt.
Yeah.
And if they felt that this was an amazing transaction, they'll forget about the sale. They'll think about you.
Yeah.
They have to remember you.
Yeah.
Not the house, not what you've done. I always tell them at the end of every transaction, if I did a good job, every time you think real estate, just think about me.
I love that.
And believe me. And then of course I jump in and I they do the home warming party and I throw in, I go in there, I pay for the barbecue or I pay for the liquor. And guess what? Who's the start of the game of the party?
That's right.
He found me the house.
That's
He
right.
found every single one that shows up. And then at the end of the day, you have 30 more people to add to your CRM.
Relationships.
That's
right.
that's what takes to the next level.
And now for the comic relief, because the irony in what you just mentioned, you said relationships for life, and then you said not a car salesman. And the funny thing about this, Mark Motors, their slogan is relationships for life.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Well, they sell luxury car.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's a different story.
I only buy from them, so I get it.
And if you know me, I love luxury cars.
Same here. Unfortunately,
I'm telling you, but I didn't have, I know I have Lambo now, I have a Maserati, and I have, of course, Mercedes, a Beamer, but it wasn't like that before.
right.
You don't have to. People are gonna say, "Oh, Miguel, well, of course he has money." No, I didn't have.
No, I earned it.
My first luxury car was a GL. That was an 8-year-old car that I found really cheap, but it was this model did not change much. So it looked like the one brand new.
I think it was more so the way you drove it, sir.
Oh, you got it for sure. And I just, watch that thing every day.
Yes.
And I will just go out there. Everybody would think I have a luxury car, but it was cheaper than the Toyota I could have bought. But it created the brand. But you know what? And I brought it on credit, 72 months.
There you go.
And it was an 8-year-old car. So by year 3, I was upside down already.
That's right.
So, but then it did its purpose.
You worked it
And
off.
then it took me to the next level and then the next one. But I look luxury. Oh, I love your car. And
It's how I take care of it. And how you do one thing is how you do all things.
exactly.
I
So
love it.
you build yourself
Yeah.
to become a luxury agent.
Man, this was a great discussion. I've never tried this rapid fire with 2 guests simultaneously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up half and half. Matter of fact, we'll go half, half, half. So Miguel, starting with you, and the way that this works is simply 1-word answer. No explanation. You don't need to explain nothing to nobody. Okay.
Okay.
So the responses are either going to be producer, pretender, or it depends. Okay. You don't have to elaborate on the depends part. Cold calling. Is it a producer, pretender, or it depends?
Pretender. I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Zillow leads.
Non-luxury.
Okay. Open houses.
In today's market, yes.
Producer.
Yes.
Okay. Door knocking. Miguel's like, I go to Mexico.
When that open house, yes.
Okay, smart move. Matter of fact, I'm going to elaborate on this and what he means, and I hope this is what he means. If you would like to run a successful open house, you do your pre-work for that open house, meaning you don't put your signs in the yard the day of and hope people attend. You let everybody know, one street over, the next street over. Matter of fact, you make sure you tell their mother, sister, cousin, etc., that you're going to have an open house that day. Anywho, Instagram Reels.
I do a lot of them. Actually, I did one in Spanish today.
So it depends.
When it depends.
Okay.
But not producer.
Okay. Luxury certifications.
Good knowledge.
Okay. For you, Jason. Luxury, no. Networking events.
Depends.
Okay. Joining a team.
Producer.
Okay. Starting a podcast.
Pretender.
Okay. What about a successful one?
Successful, yeah.
4 years in, baby. Paid coaching.
Producer.
Okay. I already know. Working 7 days a week.
Depends.
Okay. For me, that's producer. I don't know any other way. I work in every day that ends in
After
Y.
church, though.
Yeah, of course.
And when I work Sundays, I go to 8:00.
Get it done with and time to put it on.
And I put God always first.
That's right. Amen.
I would say that you got to be intentionally unbalanced.
I love that. Yes. Matter of fact, we'll talk briefly about this because I've had this comment or this topic come up, especially on my rise in my career, because people only see what they want to see on social media. And it's like, you work all the time. When do you have time for your family? I do. Matter of fact, I spend plenty of time with my family, but they also understand that I've got goals that I want to hit. And when I hit those goals, they also benefit from those goals. So I'm either going to be at all of my son's practices where I'm sitting around and somebody else is coaching, or I'm going to let the coach do what he needs to do. And I'm going to go take care of business. That's my philosophy. As long as everybody understands.
I'm with you on that one.
You know,
And I would like to add something in there.
go fair.
I work weekends, and I love the Lord. Jason knows that how strong a believer I am. But I get a client on Sunday. It takes me a couple of hours, and I say, I'll be home by dinner. I'll be home by lunch. I'll make sure it happens. But it takes a couple of hours. Sometimes it's not the whole day.
That's right.
But you go out there and make it happen because that's better for everyone. And of course, your family needs to understand, as you just said. It's very important, you get that one done.
Absolutely.
And it happens. So, and then I have a whole crew working also with me.
And I compare that to my experience growing up. I had a father that was there all the time, but we didn't grow up in a luxury property. My college wasn't paid for. And maybe that's why I am who I am today, because I didn't experience the other side of that. And I do lead personally with having those conversations with my family early on so that there is no letdown. I'm not letting them down by not being there at that. But if I need to be at that one, you guys want me to be at that, I will be there. There's nothing that's going to keep me from being at that, if that makes sense.
I got the advice early on, wherever you are, be all there.
That my wife has that tattoo right here.
And
that's her motto. You got it.
And so, when I am with my family and different things like that, I don't mind saying, there are times where you can't get me because I'm in family
days.
Or days. Yeah, there are days when you can't get me.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also when I'm working, it's game time and I'm fully focused and I'm all there.
Yeah.
And, frankly, as a coach, some people work 7 days a week because they're disorganized and they're sloppy and they have the time.
Yeah.
You work 7 days a week because you're not productive enough to get done in 5 days what you could if you were disciplined with your time. Time's an even commodity. Everyone has 24 hours in a day. Rich people can't buy more time. Poor people can't have their time stolen. The president of the United States gets no more time than what you have. The question becomes, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And
demise, leverage, automate, delegate, etc. Multiply your time.
Eliminate, automate, delegate.
You got it.
That's the 3 ways you scale your business.
That's right. Focus funnel.
And that's when you get on the team.
And the team shows you how, and then you determine what their strengths and weaknesses are. You don't focus on their weaknesses. You emphasize their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Exactly. And then also, you're in the team and then you said, okay, I'm not going to work today. You guys handle it.
That's right.
And then when it's your time, we'll take care of it, and then the family knows those things. And and they work with you.
That's right.
Because at the end, you're in a business. Not every business, but in this real estate, you work when your clients are off.
That's right. That's exactly right.
The truth is that you need to plan it, because it's got family and then work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. And that's what makes us successful.
I love that.
In my case.
I absolutely love that. As a matter of fact, I'm done with these. Guys, that was an incredible conversation. I learned a great deal, and I'm sure the folks out there enjoyed this thoroughly. Is there anything that you would like to add before we close this out? Jason, Miguel?
Yeah, I will just say, somebody somewhere is going to be sitting around their Thanksgiving table saying, oh my God, the first half of 2026, it felt like everything was falling apart. And the last half of 2026, it felt like everything was falling into place. Somebody is going to be sitting around their Christmas tree, giving their kids the best Christmas that they ever have. Somebody is going to look back on 2026 and see that this was the year that you built a business that created generational wealth for generations of your family that will know you only in story and theory. Somebody is going to do that. The question becomes, why not you? Why not you? And somebody is going to win in this market, and it will be if you're going to shift from panic to pivot and determine that it's my time, it's my turn, and you're willing to do what it takes to step into your preferred future.
I love that.
Hard to follow up.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, you got to bring this guy here with me. I'm telling you, dude. He says something that it's so true. Pivot.
Yes.
Pivot within your business. Pivot within the industry. Shift, but don't stop.
That's right.
Don't quit. Keep going. He said it himself very well. Somebody's going to be really happy at the end of the year. And others are going, why not me? No. Think about yourself. Forget what others are doing. Concentrate on what you're doing. Ask if you don't know. Get better. Mm-hmm. Go out there. Knock on the door. And believe me, it's going to happen. It's not overnight. There's a lot of quitters out there. Mm-hmm. You're not one of them. Go out there and make the best of yourself. Because believe me, it's doable. Talking about a foreigner who came to the United States as a teenager, didn't even know how to read the streets. I didn't know how to take a bus. I didn't know the culture. I didn't know anything. And I have a heavy accent. It was worse back then. And I received an amazing advice of working as a busboy from an old man who had a heavy accent. And I was working at this restaurant in Washington, D.C., where I was going to school. And I said, you have a heavy accent, and I just got here. People sometimes don't understand what I'm saying. You don't worry about it. One day your accent is going to be your best asset. And that stayed with me. I said it today. That stayed with me forever. And I kept going. I said, such a nice guy. Gave me $20 every Sunday on brunch. I was a busboy, 18 years old. I couldn't be a waiter. And I asked the chef, this famous restaurant, I didn't even know I was working at a famous restaurant. I asked the chef, I said, Michel Vladier, actually, a couple of chefs in town that I know very well were actually worked for this chef when they were younger. This well-known in Washington, D.C. He said, Miguel, do you know who that is? Of course, the chef also had a French accent, right? And he was a known chef. He said, Miguel, do you know what that old man is? I said, yeah, he told me. He's a retired attorney. I said, well, that man is Henry Kissinger, the Secretary of State of the United States.
Wow.
The highest position of a no U.S. born. He's German. And I'll leave you with that one. That was my best advice. It's actually going to be in my book that I'm writing.
That's awesome. And congratulations on your success and continued success. Jason, as always, thank you for putting this together. I think this is going to resonate with the people, the listeners that we have, hopefully grow it even more. For those of you out there listening, I only have one thing to say. There's an old saying that says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I need you to look at yourself after hearing this from these gentlemen today. And if it's broke, it's time to fix it. That being said, we'll catch you on the next one.